Okay, let's look at some Doctor Who patterns. Okay, let's look at some Doctor Who patterns. So welcome back to any returning viewers and to any new viewers, a very warm welcome to you. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that the cat is still in the same position as the Star Wars pattern video because I'm filming this directly afterwards. So we're going to take a look at some patterns that are available for Doctor Who fans. We are looking at Ravelry. We're using random number generator to limit the number that we actually talk about. So we're going to talk about 5 patterns today, and we're going to look them up right now. So let's pop down to the screen recording and we'll see what's out there for Doctor Who. So we have 12 pages of patterns. So let's adjust this first number generator. We're going to page 11. So almost to the end. And we know that there are 48 patterns on a page in Ravelry when the pages are full. So we need to check if we end up with the last page again. Pattern 7. So 6, 7. The Snowman Cometh. So this is a Samantha Stewart pattern, and it's inspired by something worn by Matt Smith when he was in his iteration of the Doctor. And it seems to be a fairly simple scarf. It's a free pattern made with worsted weight yarns. It should be a fairly quick knit for a scarf. So let's have a look at some of the ones that have been made. Some people have chosen to go for brighter colours. Obviously in the episode it's a grey scarf that's served as the inspiration. So yeah, it seems like a fairly simple, straightforward scarf. Garter stitch. Probably not a bad project for a first project if you're a Whovian and want to knit up something for the fandom. Let's remember to put these out in separate tabs. So not a bad starter project. For those of us with a bit more knitting experience, palette cleanser project, something to knit whilst reading, something to knit whilst watching Weeping Angels, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's take a look at pattern number 2, which we'll find on page 7. Here we go, page 7. And we're going for pattern number 29. So 12, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Got a pair of socks. So this is Darlekenium by Heatherly Walker. So this was published in Unobtainables, Fake Elements, Real Knits. It's apparently no longer available in one source, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not available anywhere. So there's an ebook available with this pattern in. The ebook is $15 US. So that's about $12.53. Let me just open up this page in a separate tab whilst I remember. You'd think I've sussed that one out by now, but no. Okay, so Darlekenium, cute little. What am I doing? Cute little sock pattern. Let's have a look, see what else is in that ebook. Okay, so in Unobtainables, we have Adamantium Mitts, we have Amazonium, we have Carbonite, Darlekenium, the dilithium crystals. So we've got some socks, we've got some wrist warmers, we've got some mitts, we've got a cowl called Aether. Some very cute socks. Kryptonite Lithar, gold titanium alloy, liquid Schwartz, melange, mithril socks, polarite socks, orichalcum shawl, that's a cute shawl, nth metal tesseract shawl, red rain. Yeah, plenty of patterns in. I'm just sort of skimming through these. So yeah, mixture of socks and other accessories. It seems to be a collaboration between Alison Sarnoff and Heatherly Walker. So yeah, it looks like you can't get the socks individually, but you know there's quite a few patterns that you might be interested in if you're into sci-fi. So you never know. You might find quite a few in that ebook that you want to work up. Okay, so let's go for pattern number 3, which we will find on page 8. Okay, and we'll look for pattern 9, so 6, 7, 8, 9. We have TARDIS socks. So this is by Ellen Botilda. It's a free pattern. That's not bad because they look fairly involved for designing. So this is her first Ravelry pattern. So yeah, got the texture of a police box there. For those of you outside of the UK, Doctor Who is very much ingrained in our culture. It was appointment to view TV growing up, and the TARDIS, the police box that it gets stuck looking at, you used to see them everywhere. They were there so that if you needed police assistance, you had somewhere to go without having to find the police station. You could phone the police through the police box. Sometimes you'd have police, like before I remember, but you used to have police that would be stationed at the police box. That would be their sort of taking shelter from the weather point if they were out on duty. So in between walking their beat, they'd take a little break, have a cup of tea or whatever in the police box. Sometimes they'd be used to hold people who'd been arrested until transport could arrive to take them back to the police station and that kind of thing. So they were a staple part of walking around in a British town or city. You'd see police boxes everywhere. They are very, very few and far between these days. Um, Steve Marsh, who does travel vlogging, went to Sheffield in one of his visits recently and found a green police box, which is the only one left in Sheffield now. I mean, obviously they're not used anymore by the police, but that's what they were for. They were part and parcel of living in the UK. I'm sure other countries had something similar. So yeah, so the TARDIS is an iconic thing anyway. It's made more so by the fact that the police boxes were quite iconic anyway. So yeah, so let's look for pattern 4. Page 4. Ah, cunning. Although I'm sure random number generator is not all that cunning, but yeah. And we'll look for pattern 31. So 12, 24, 31. So we have the 13th Doctor, an amigurumi of the 13th Doctor. 13th Doctor is, timeline-wise, the first female Doctor. She's not the only female Doctor. The Fugitive Doctor is also female, but we don't know quite where the Fugitive Doctor fits into the Doctor's own timeline as of yet. So this pattern is by Daisy and Storm. Just trying to capture Jodie Whittaker there in crochet form. It's a free pattern. It's kind of cute. It's got her outfit. Yeah, one thing I liked about the 13th Doctor when she picked her outfit out was it harks back to earlier Doctors, and it actually harks back a little bit to some of the Doctors that I had growing up. Because that's something else you'll find is Brits will have their Doctor, the Doctor that introduced them to Doctor Who. I have like a blend of 3, effectively. Colin Baker, Peter Davison, and Sylvester McCoy. So the rainbow colours were very much prevalent in my era of the Doctor, being the 80s. The long jacket, a few Doctors have had long jackets. So yeah, so the doctors typically will have one look, and that's their signature look. They very rarely get seen in anything else, but I think that's changing with the new Doctor, with the Disney era and Ncuti Gatwa. In the trailer, he's got a lot of different outfits. So, and even in the Christmas special and well, we've seen him so far. We've seen him in multiple outfits already. So yeah, so he seems to be breaking the mold a little bit, which makes sense. They've got a whole wardrobe of stuff on the TARDIS. It always struck me a little bit odd that the Doctor didn't change his outfit, but his companions did. Okay, so 5th pattern, page 12. So last page. Let's see how many patterns we've got here. Oh, not so many. Oh, and I didn't click the photos. We have no photos on these. Right. Just going to click the one that only has photos on, and we'll redo that. So that takes us to 11 pages. Page 2. I'm only changing the numbers to this so that I can get a pattern with pictures, because video is a visual medium. And I generally filter by photos anyway when I'm searching for stuff myself. So we're going for pattern number 6. Okay, so Doctor Who Sontaran dishcloth. So this will be another one that's a good one for beginner knitters. It's worked in worsted weight. And obviously if you're doing this for a dishcloth, you'll be doing it in cotton. It's a free pattern. And we've got a Sontaran's head in garter stitch on a stocking stitch background. That's designed by Lotta Gregor and published in Atalante Doctor Who inspired dishcloths / Afghan squares. So you could do a Doctor Who blanket out of all of these Doctor Who dishcloths and what have you. So let's have a little look, see what other squares we might be able to find. So we've got 15 patterns. A cricket sweater. Some of the doctors wore cricket sweaters. My era, we had cricket sweaters as part of their costumes. And for those of you who don't know, a cricket sweater is a white sweater with cabling on it. Sometimes it'll have colour stripe in the ribbing around the neck. It's usually a V-neck. It can be long sleeved. It could be sleeveless. But it's a very British. You have fisherman sweaters. You have cricket sweaters. You have football sweaters. Cricket sweaters, cabled, white, possibly with a bit of colour, V-neck usually. So yeah, standard. So we've got that texture happening on that square. Doctor Who Cyberman, K9. So K9 was a robot dog. There's been, I think, 4 iterations of K9 now. And in World, there's about 3 still in existence. Croton, be another baddie. Doctor Who Seal of Rassilon, the Sontaran, Vervoid, Unit dishcloth. Unit is the British military unit tasked with protecting the planet in Doctor Who. Time Lord one, so that's using the Time Lord headdress and shoulder pads, for want of a better word. Penguin, I'm not quite sure what the penguin has to do with Doctor Who, but we'll go with it. 7th Doctor, Space-Time Vortex, TARDIS wall, TARDIS console, and a stick of celery. One of my doctors, one of the 80s doctors, had a stick of celery in his jacket, and it changed colour with various things. So it went like purple when there was danger around. So yeah, that stick of celery I do get, but people who didn't watch 80s Doctor Who may not. So they're all sort of textured squares. Be good for dishcloths, be good for blanket squares. So that is 5 Doctor Who related patterns that you can access via Ravelry. I'll link them all down below. And thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I'd love to see you in the next one. But until then, there is this video here that may be of interest to you. Until then, happy crafting and bye-bye for now.